I've been making an effort to go through and revisit a lot of the oldest Sims packs and almost like re-review them in 2023 to see how they hold up and how they compare to the newer releases. And today we're going to talk about Perfect Patio Stuff. It was the second ever stuff pack for The Sims 4, and it was first released in June of 2015. And I guess I shouldn't really call this video a re-review because I've never actually reviewed this pack. Believe it or not, it came out before I even had a YouTube channel. This might hurt your feelings, but there could very easily be 8-year-olds watching this video that weren't even born when this pack came out. And that's part of why I think it's so fun to talk about these things so many years down the line. For one, it's just really interesting to me to compare how much worse the oldest Sims 4 packs used to be. But also there is some drama around the Perfect Patio Stuff pack that a lot of you might not remember. So let's just get straight into it. Today we're going to talk about the pack, what it comes with, and also whether or not I think it's worth buying. The whole concept here is just to decorate your Sims patio and like do patio things. The three main features they list are the hot tub, a barbecue, and dressing for a day in the sun. I don't know about you, but to me, none of these features are really standouts. Wearing clothes in the sun, you can do with the base game. Barbecues, you can do with the base game. And even now, the hot tub, you can do with the base game. So there's not really any reason to buy this pack. And that is the drama that I want to talk to you about. So a couple years ago, in February of 2020, the Sims franchise celebrated its 20th anniversary. The original Sims game came out in 2000, so obviously in 2020 it was the 20-year anniversary of The Sims, and it was kind of a big deal. Really, not too many game franchises last as long as The Sims has, and The Sims is kind of like a household name, main pop culture thing. Like, everybody knows about The Sims, so everybody sort of expected that for a huge thing like the 20th anniversary, there'd be some sort of big celebration happening, and there was a celebration. There was a base game update to The Sims 4. And in that base game update, we got that famously ugly hot tub added. It's not that ugly, but it definitely has some weird swatches like these Plum Pop ones. So the big meme sort of became like, oh, The Sims has been around for 20 years and all we got is this ugly hot tub. But there was a little bit more drama to it than just the hot tub being kind of silly looking, because a lot of people that had paid money for the Perfect Patio Stuff pack were upset that all of a sudden there was a hot tub in the base game. Because realistically, the only reason that you would buy Perfect Patio Stuff is to get the hot tubs. It's got some decent furniture and stuff, but really the main feature was the hot tubs, and it's not worth the $10 if the hot tub gameplay is already in the base game now. So they kind of like made their own pack worthless by doing this base game update, and then also angered a lot of people who had bought the pack recently. And I had bought the pack 5 years prior to this, so I wasn't that mad about it. Well, actually my mom bought it, I didn't because I was a child. But if you had bought the pack like last week and all of a sudden hot tubs are free, I'd be kind of mad too. So anyway, that was the big drama. There's kind of some memes surrounding this pack now because of it. Now, as far as the rest of the in-game content goes, it's got a couple of cast items, like a very, very, very small amount of Create a Sim. There is literally only 12 things, and that's one of the smallest cast sets out of everything we have for The Sims 4. It's genuinely almost pitiful how little comes in this pack, but there are a couple things that I really like. Specifically, this tank top I still love and use all the time. There's also a couple swimsuits in this pack, and that's kind of fun because there's not too many swimsuits in the game. It's all just very basic though. I mean, there's a couple shirts, they're nice, they're fine, but it's not really the kind of thing that I would buy the pack for. There's nothing really stand out to me in Cass. It's got like kind of a funky apron, but really how often do you use this? Because I never ever do. I don't know if I've ever given one of my Sims this outfit. I guess it's kind of cute for the storytelling of like, oh, they're grilling, but like I've never even seen this swatch before. I'm not kidding. I have literally never seen this. So that tells us that I've had this pack for 8 years and I've barely gotten any use out of like half of the cast stuff. This might be the harshest I've ever reviewed cast from a pack, and it's not even like it's bad, it's just disappointing and there's not enough. Because I do like these things. I just wish that I had like triple the amount of things to make it worthwhile. Just to give you a quick comparison, look at how much more Home Chef Hustle has. This one has 45 assets in Create a Sim, and you compare that to 12 in this pack. It's bad. It's really bad. But then as far as build mode goes, there is an interesting and pretty decent sized set of like patio furniture in this pack. And a lot of these things I do still use really often. Probably the nicest part of this, at least now that the hot tubs have kind of been devalued, is the kitchen set, because it does have a counter set here. There's a counter and an island plus a matching bar. There's 42 items, but technically each of these counter pieces counts as more than just one because they have like the corner piece and the end piece and all those different sets to it. So I'll give them 50. There's like 50 items in this build pack. I always like to see the rooms they make, like the default rooms, just to see what they intended the stuff to be used for. This is not really selling it to me though. I'm not really all that impressed by this, to be honest. I will be better off just making my own. So for starters, there's a couch set in this pack, and I appreciate how it's got a full love seat, 3-wide couch and chair combo. It's kind of like wicker furniture, so it's very clearly meant to be outside, and it's got a couple interesting swatches. Some of them are a little bit bright for me, like almost unusably bright. I've never used this purple swatch before. I kind of gravitate towards the more plain ones the most, like this brown one with the stripes and this black and white one. There's even a matching ottoman and a coffee table for this set. We also have 2 outdoor dining tables and some matching chairs. One's like a small glass table with an umbrella, and then we have a wider like 3 long table as well. Slight complaint about this is that there's not really a solid black swatch on these chairs. We have an all white one, but the black one has gray on it still. There's like a light metal. So it doesn't have as many swatches as I would like it to have, but it does have kind of a cute light blue to it. And I love this umbrella table. This is probably my most used item from this pack. I use this everywhere because most of the umbrella tables we have in the base game are a little bit more like traditional in style, and this is a bit more modern, so it's easier to fit in more places. So I use this table a lot. And then my next most used item is definitely the kitchen set. I use these counters all the time. Anytime my Sims have an outdoor kitchen in their house, I am guaranteed gonna be using this counter set. I don't know if I am obsessed with the swatches, to be honest. They're very obviously outdoor counters. It's got kind of this cute stone on the side and then like some metal in the front. It does have a matching island, thankfully, but there's not matching upper cabinets because it's like outdoors, so they don't have upper cabinets for it. It really bugs me to get counter sets that don't have matching cabinets, but I can kind of forgive this one a little bit because it's meant to be outside, but I still wish that we had gotten cabinets for it, or at least like a shelf or something. We also got a grill, and I use this grill all the time too because the other grills don't fit into the counters as well. This one is built exactly to fit the counter dimensions, so it looks really nice put together. And then we got a couple little grilling clutter items like the barbecue sauce and the grill tools. There's also bar stools that match the chairs. There's actually a bar that matches the counters as well, and I use that all the time too because there's not too many bars that have matching counter sets, so this one's pretty easy to fit into outdoor kitchens. There's a couple weird clutter things like these chess piece lights and also this weird like divider light. Honestly, I've never used this. I've never found a place for this. I kind of always forget it exists. I guess it's interesting, but it's not really a standout to me, clearly. I use these dividers more often. There's like some kind of cute bush dividers in the pack. There's a couple plants that I use pretty frequently, a couple random decor items for the wall that I never ever use. And then obviously, most importantly, we have the hot tubs. So there's 2 hot tubs in this pack. There's one that sort of matches the stone of the counter, and then one that's like a little bit more wooden. And I appreciate that we have 2, and I also appreciate how easily these fit into different styles. That's the problem with the base game hot tub. It's just really hard to use most places. It's cool that it has the roof, but then like you get these swatches and it makes it really hard to fit this in anywhere. And these are a little bit easier to fill into different areas because they're more simple. And I just have so many complicated feelings about this because if you like using hot tubs, it might be nice to have a pack that has more hot tubs, but the real value of the pack comes from the fact that it has a hot tub in it. And now that hot tubs are base game, there's just not as much need to buy it, so it's hard to recommend this to people. Maybe on sale you could buy it, but like realistically it's just kind of not worth the money, especially compared to newer stuff packs. I would recommend any of the last 2 stuff packs over this a million times because this one just doesn't have enough unique stuff to make it worth $10. And I like it. I use a lot of this stuff. It's just so expensive and there's no unique gameplay anymore. And that's supposed to be the main selling point of a stuff pack over a kit. It's that it comes with new gameplay. Sometimes that gameplay is better than others, like the newer packs have whole careers and stuff versus like Luxury Party that has a fountain. But you get what I mean. This pack is sort of lacking that unique gameplay selling point now. And speaking of gameplay, we should probably actually test that out because this pack does have some fun features. The hot tubs are fun. I'm saying a lot of really bad things about Perfect Patio Stuff, but honestly, when this first came out, I was so excited. Having hot tubs and having more patio furniture was kind of a game changer for me back in 2015. It just doesn't really hold up as well now in 2023. There's 2 things that I always look for in a new pack to see if I think it's good, and they're also always my favorite parts of a Sims pack, and it's new deaths and new woohoo spots. And this pack actually has a new woohoo spot, which you would expect expect out of the hot tub pack. Like if they didn't add hot tub woohoo, this would be even more worthless. But in these hot tubs, they can obviously sit in them, they can skinny dip in them, and they can woohoo in them, which I want to do now so I can show you. I'll tell you this, the hot tub animations are kind of a lot. And I just did it a second ago and forgot to start recording, but look at this. My Sims are both uncomfortable from mediocre woohooing. They're unsatisfied. It says that woohoo wasn't satisfactory. Improvement needed. Oh my god. That's not the hot tub's fault. That's their fault. But this is what the hot tub woohoo looks like. Honestly, I feel a little bit weird right now recording this, but it's a lot. They like pop out from the water and there's like floating heart bubbles and all kinds of stuff. And then when it ends, there's like fountains and stuff. It looks like that time was better. They have flirty moodlets from woohooing in the hot tub. Is it hot in this hot tub or is it just Lila? Whoa, trick question. It's both. See, it's kind of fun. It's a fun little feature. You can do that in the base game though, so you don't really need to have this to do it. It's more just if you want the extra hot tub and the extra swatches. You actually can change the light color of the hot tub too. It's obviously 9 a.m. so it's not really that obvious, but at nighttime it looks kind of cool with some different LED lights in there. They can skinny dip in the hot tub, which is, oh my god, there's a welcome wagon. Of the times for the welcome wagon to start, it starts now when I'm naked in the hot tub. Oh my god. But you can also fit like 8 Sims in there because you can fit 2 Sims on each side. So we could have like a complete hot tub party if we really wanted to. I don't really know if I do want to. Like I personally would prefer to avoid getting in a hot tub with Travis Scott if possible. The more I hear about hot tubs in real life, the more they just gross me out. I don't really have any desire to get in a hot tub. First of all, especially not a public hot tub because I don't trust people. I'm sorry to like put the camera on you guys, but people pee in hot tubs. People are just gross. But this is The Sims, and in The Sims, hot tubs are fun. I think they can fall asleep in them too, and then they can also just sit here and like talk, basically. It works just like a couch in that way. It's just that the couch happens to be in the water and you can woohoo in it. But that's pretty much everything. That's all of the stuff that comes in the Perfect Patio Stuff pack. I have sort of complicated feelings about this pack because I will admit that I might be a little bit biased because of the fond memories that I have playing this back in 2015. But if this pack came out today, I would rip it apart. I would never tell you to buy this. So I have to keep that in mind as I'm like re-reviewing it and talking about it now. It's a fine pack. It's got some cute items. It's nice to have if you have it, but I really wouldn't recommend that you buy this as like your first and only stuff pack now. And I definitely would not suggest that you buy this full price. If you're gonna pay for this pack, buy it on sale. I would say that about pretty much any Sims pack, but this one especially, it's just not worth $10. Get literally any other stuff pack first before you buy this one. Well, maybe not Luxury Party. Don't get that one. These two are by far the bottom 2 stuff packs. I have learned a couple things in my revisiting of this pack because I always thought that the cast was good. I always kind of had this mindset that it had great cast because I liked the tank top, but looking at it today, it has terrible cast. There's like basically no create a sim. The build stuff is nice. I do like the build furniture, but then the gameplay is really lacking because we have that stuff in the base game. So overall, I cannot give a good review to the Perfect Patio Stuff pack. If you're considering buying this pack, I'd consider maybe bundling it or waiting for a sale. And if you already have this stuff pack, I'm really curious to hear your thoughts on it. It's complicated because on one hand, I'm very glad that everybody has access to hot tubs and I love that we got one in the base game, even if I don't love the one that we got in the base game. But it does kind of devalue this stuff pack. I just don't think that I have the right to be mad about that because I bought it 8 years ago. Okay, well my mom bought it 8 years ago. It was worth it for me at least at the time and I did get a lot of use out of it. It's just old now and it really does not hold up. But I think on that note, I'm gonna end this video right here. I hope that you enjoyed it. I have made a few videos like this talking about older Sims packs, so if you want to watch them, I'll link them here on the end card. And on that note, I'm gonna catch you all tomorrow. Okay, bye everybody. I'm currently pre-recording a little bit because when you see this, I'm going to visit my grandparents in Illinois. So bear with me because this weekend is all pre-recorded videos.